Just before 1:30 today, two separate 911 calls were received at the Maryland State Police Leonardtown Barrack. The first call was from a male who gave a phone number instead of an address. He reported to the dispatcher that there was a guy acting suspicious who thinks has a gun. The dispatcher asked for his location, but the caller disconnected. 2 minutes later, a second 911 call was received from a male who gives a street address in the 23,000 block of Hollywood Road, just down the street from the barrack. The caller said a guy was acting suspicious and he thinks he has a gun. He hangs up and does not give a name. The preliminary investigation indicates that within minutes, a uniformed Maryland State trooper arrived at the location and confronted a male in the driveway. The male was armed with a gun and a knife. We have interviewed a witness who said they saw the individual in the driveway in what the witness described as a shooting stance, pointing a gun at the trooper. The trooper fired at the male, wounding him. A second witness has told investigators that after the trooper fired the first time, they saw the male pull out a knife and try to get up. The trooper ordered him to drop the knife before he fired again. The trooper reported the shooting and called for emergency medical services. Aid was rendered to the male by troopers and sheriff's deputies until EMS arrived. The male was transported to MedStar St. Mary's Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. The male has been identified as Peyton Ham, 16 years old, of Leonardtown. A gun was recovered at the scene. It has been determined to be an airsoft gun that is a close representation of an actual handgun. A knife was also recovered at the scene. The trooper involved was not injured. He has been a member of the Maryland State Police for 2 years and 7 months. He has been placed on administrative leave pending the ongoing investigation. The Maryland State Police Homicide Unit is on the scene and will be conducting a criminal investigation. This is procedure in all trooper-involved shootings. Investigators are interviewing witnesses at this time. Upon completion of this investigation, it will be presented to the St. Mary's County State's Attorney's Office for review. The St. Mary's County Deputy State's Attorney responded to the scene and has been briefed by our investigators. In addition, the Maryland State Police Internal Affairs Division will be conducting an administrative investigation. This is also procedure. There are many questions we do not have the answers to at this point in the investigation. However, we are committed to conducting a thorough investigation to determine what has occurred.
Does that 16-year-old, does he live in that home?
Which home, sir?
The home where there's active officers going in and out of, right over there, behind the yellow time signs there?
He lives in the 23,000 block.
Does he live in that home right there that I'm looking at, which is 3 buildings down from your building?
I'm not sure because we have 2 different scenes that we're working with right now, so I'm not sure which house you're referencing.
Well, I'll tell you right now. You got one building here, then you got another building, then you got another building. So that's 2 buildings over from right here. There are your officers sitting on the porch with bottled water, and that's active where the crime scene is. So my question is, does that 16-year-old live in that house?
No, sir.
Okay, what role does that house play with this investigation?
There is a home where the shooting occurred on the property.
Is that the home?
The home where the investigators are. And then there's another home nearby where the deceased lived.
Which driveway was he shot in? Was that his home or the other home?
The other home.
And can you spell his name for us, Colonel?
Yes, it's P-E-H-T-O-N, last name H-A-M.
So the shooting occurred at this home, which is 1, 2, 3, and the 16-year-old lived in another home, correct?
Correct.
Why was he at this property here?
That's still under investigation at this time, sir.
Was he walking around here? What did the 911 callers describe?
Our investigators are interviewing witnesses at this time. It's ongoing. We do not have that information at this point.
Did you ever
have you
cover the
applied
gun?
for a search warrant to go inside the 16-year-old's home yet?
Yes, that has
Well,
been done as part of
sometimes
the
it takes
investigation.
time,
Yes,
so
sir.
that's why I asked.
It takes time.
Did you all recover the gun and the knife at the scene?
Yes, there was a gun, the replica gun that represented a real weapon, and a knife was recovered at the scene.
And just to clarify, the 911 callers didn't indicate that the gun might not be a real gun. It was just someone has a gun.
That's correct. There was no indication. It was just simply a male with a gun that was
How
represented
was
during the 911
this
call.
16-year-old allegedly acting suspicious? What was he doing?
That's what our trooper was responding to the scene to investigate, and upon arrival, he was met with the circumstances I described earlier with the male with the gun.
Do you think, perhaps, Colonel, that this 16-year-old could have been having mental distress or a mental illness at all?
That's part of our investigation. It's too early to tell at this time. We're just a few hours into it, and there's many questions to be asked.
Colonel, we talked to witnesses across the street where there are some bullet holes in a garage. That seems fairly far from where the shooting itself happened. Is that an indication that this trooper was not aiming directly at the target? And how did the bullets go all the way across the
That's
street?
part of the investigation. I can't speak to that at this point. As you can see, investigators still on the scene, as well as our crime lab folks, to make those determinations.
How many times did the trooper discharge his weapon, sir?
That is still being determined at this time.
Is it more than once?
That's still being under investigation by our internal
Because witness
affairs
said they
section.
heard several shots fired.
Has the state police ever had any interaction with this 16-year-old prior to this incident?
That's part of what our investigators are reviewing at this time to get that information.
Do you have any comment about a 16-year-old's life being taken?
Any loss of life is a tragedy. This especially is a tragedy. We take these very seriously. I certainly empathize with the family of this young man and what they're feeling right now. I can't even comprehend how sad this has got to be and tragic. And we feel that. The investigators feel it. This is all part of what we do, and it's a tragic situation.
Is there any video of this incident, either from dash cam? I don't believe troopers wear body cameras.
You're correct. Troopers do not wear body cameras. We are still investigating to see what camera footage may be available in the surrounding area.
But nothing from a dash cam from the trooper
No,
that
no, sir.
responded. And was he alone when he responded to
The
the call?
trooper responded to the scene alone.
Do you plan to put out the name of the trooper?
Yes, that'll come out in the next 24 to 48 hours.
And last, Colonel, just to, first of all, thank you for speaking. So this is under review by the Maryland State Police internal review along with the state attorney, is that correct?
Yes, there's a criminal investigation that's being done, as well as an internal review, and the St. Mary's County State's Attorney's Office will review that criminal investigation once it's complete.
And the Maryland State Police are conducting the criminal investigation?
Yes, sir.
Okay.